last. Not clear? So here, so minimum clarity is there for the people at the end, right? Just we'll check, and if it is still having problem, we can stop the session, right? Okay, let's continue. So last session, what we discussed is about styles. So in styles, what are the concepts? So we have learned techniques of integrating styles. Another important, we learned about how to use the selectors. We learned about selectors. How do we work with selectors? So in the selectors concept, we learned about, as I told you, there are no official categories, right? So there are no official categories, but we discussed one point. What is that? We discussed about primary selectors. The primary selectors. So primary selectors, what are the primary selectors? So we have an type selector and ID selector, class. And yeah, and we know the differences also, right? We discussed about the difference also. When to use type, when to use ID and class. So depending on the situation, we implement them. And we learned priority also. Which one have more priority? ID have the more priority. The first priority is for ID. Then class. Then it is type selector, right? Next, after understanding the selectors of what primary are, let's see another. Actually, when you learnt about selectors, we have another category is relational. So we have relational and hierarchical. We have relational and hierarchical selectors. I already told you these are not categories. Just I am keeping them in one name so that it is easy for understanding. And relation and hierarchy based selectors, some are there. What are those? You already know them. So for example, we have written a parent and a space. We have written child. Remember, what does this means? It refers all child elements under that parent. Am I right? Suppose you have a nav, in that I want all spans. Then how do we do? Nav space span, right? This refers to all child elements, all child elements of specific parent, all child elements of specific parent. Right? At any level of hierarchy, at any level of hierarchy inside parent, at any level of hierarchy inside parent. That is the parent and child. I will explain this what is any level hierarchy means. Any level hierarchy. You have another one. You can write like this. Parent and greater than child. Like this you can write. It refers to direct child elements only. It refers to direct child elements only. Let's see what these are. So we have all child elements, direct child elements. We have two important options here. So all elements and direct child elements. So see what is the difference here. So the difference is actually when you are dealing with these elements, the difference is I will create one interface here. In this, we will keep one simple parent element. Actually, why you need this? Because sometimes under a parent child elements are present, they will be similar. Suppose you see, for example, we have Li. Who is the parent of Li? It can be OL also. It can be UL also. Am I right? That means the same element is available for different. Then if I apply Li and some style, it will apply for both. It will apply for items in ordered list and it will apply for items in unordered. I want only for order list. Then how you mention? Better you mention OL in that what? Li. This we have to do. Now what is the speciality here? What is the concept here is when you do this, usually what happens now? It will apply to only Li which is present inside this OL. Like that, parent can be anything, child can be anything. You can have a div, spans, any combination can be there. What is direct child? I will explain that. See, suppose we are creating a div and we are having a class container. In the container, I have paragraph. This is para 1. Another paragraph, this is para 2. After that, a div. Inside this, we have paragraph, that is para 3. And we have another div. This is para 4. Now see what happens when I run this. You can see that when you run, all the paragraphs are same. Para 1, 2, 3, 4 all are same. But remember here, third is not direct child. Third paragraph is not direct child. You see the third paragraph here. These para 1 is direct child. Para 2 is direct child. But third is not direct child. It is inside another div, na? Inside another div. So if I write the effect like this, how you are writing style, and I am writing paragraph means dot container is parent, space P means it will apply for paragraphs inside container. Color I will give as red. Which paragraph will be red? All paragraphs will be red at any level. Third paragraph is not at the main level. It is somewhere inside. Then it will apply to all of them. Apply to all of them. Now here, this para 4, it should be inside P, na? I will remove this. I will keep inside P directly. Now you see it is applying to all. But this third paragraph is not direct. The third paragraph is not direct. It is present where inside another div. Space will apply at any level of hierarchy. That is the meaning of space, at any level of hierarchy inside parent. If I give container greater than P, what does it means? Only direct child. Direct child means at first level only. Second level, some other are there, they don't apply. Only direct child. Who are direct childs? First, second, and fourth. These are direct childs. So it will apply only to them. Third is not applied. So what is difference between space and greater than? Space indicates all, any level, and greater than indicates only direct. Suppose it is present somewhere inside of another, it should not apply. This you can do by using these symbols, right? So this is the parent space child, and this is parent greater than child, right? Direct child. So suppose syntactically I will give here, I given some nav and a space span. What does it means? All span elements inside nav at any level of hierarchy. That is what I explained there. Same point here. So that means, for example, you have a nav here. Inside the nav, I have a span. Inside the span, I have some option like some 1. And after that, I given here some paragraph. In that we have a span 2. Now, what does it means? It applies to both. So that means it refers to both. So in this scenario, both are accessible. Both are accessible. You can say selectable. They are selected. Both are selected. Now, if I give now greater than span, what does this means? Only direct span element. That means, so it will apply to first, right? First span. It will not apply to second because it is not direct. So that is the span. Right. So when you are defining the elements, these are important. So when you are dealing with parent-child hierarchy, these are 2 points. One more you have learned. Means in hierarchy itself, you learned another concept. What is another concept? You learned about. So you learned about another one is adjacent. Adjacent elements. How to access adjacent elements? So you have to access adjacent elements like this. What is it? Some nav plus span. What does it means? Already we know them. So I'm not giving much about that. Already we know. What does it means? So it refers to span. Span adjacent. Adjacent to nav. Span adjacent to nav. What does here general siblings we call? General siblings. Adjacent element, general sibling. General sibling means anywhere after. That means you have a nav and tilde span. You remember that? Both of them we used in different places we have used. What does it means? Span after nav element. Anywhere, right? Anywhere after nav element, but within the scope. Am I right? Within the same scope. But within the same scope. These already we use. These already we learnt and used in different places. So adjacent elements and general siblings. These are all hierarchy based selectors. Hierarchy based selectors means parent, child, and adjacent and anywhere after that particular location. We generally call siblings, general siblings, adjacent siblings. Sibling is just like you say brother, sister. That means anywhere after. For example, you see now after or before actually. So suppose you see I am writing here a heading. This is a heading. After the heading we have para 1 and para 2 and we have para 3. Like this we are writing. Now what we done in the style H2 and I given space para, color is red. For which paragraph it will apply color red? It will not apply anywhere. It will not apply anywhere because what is that selector? Child selector. Na? Child selector means what? All paragraphs must be inside heading. Are they inside heading? They are after. Na? They are adjacent. So it will not apply anywhere because this is a child selector. So that will not apply anywhere. It's not working anywhere. Now what I will do here, I will write plus. Then it will apply to which one? It will apply to only first paragraph. That means it will apply to para 1. Apply to para 1. I want all paragraphs. Then how do you refer that? Tilde. Tilde means it refers to all paragraphs after that. Right? That you can define. Why I am saying within scope? Because suppose these are inside. These are inside a div. There is another div. There we have para 4. So we are having para 4. So when you are having para 4, you can see that is not applied because that is not inside the same scope. It is present outside. It will apply in the same scope, anywhere inside the same scope that you can define by using these symbols. This is adjacent related. So what is difference between these? You have learned 4 points. Huh? One is A space B. This refers to all child elements inside A. So A greater than B. This refers to only direct child elements. A plus B. This refers to adjacent. A tilde B. This refers to any occurrence, any hierarchy. At any hierarchy, the element is there. You can access that element and use that element, right? These are important. Next, important in the selectors, we have in the relational and hierarchical selectors, we are having another option. We have under this, we can design like this. We have first child. We have a class called first child. First child. So it refers to first child element. Last child. This is the class. It refers to last child element. Last child element. You can access first child, last child. You have nth child. Nth child. It refers to specific child element. It refers to specific child element. So it uses level number. Nth child means it uses level number. I will explain them. We will see that. Nth child. We have nth of type. Nth of type. We have nth of type. One second. Yeah. Here nth of type. What is this nth of type means? It refers to every nth occurrence. Nth occurrence. It refers to every nth occurrence from top or left. Every nth occurrence from top or left. We have nth last of type. Nth last of type means it refers to every nth occurrence from bottom or right. It depends on order, column wise, row wise, you have the contents. Let's see what these are, how they work. First child, last child, their name itself tell what they are, right? So we will see what are these. Anywhere you have parent child hierarchy, you can implement this. Anywhere in parent child hierarchy. So what we will do is directly you can apply anywhere we can apply. We will see how to define that. Let's see the first one means I will explain these meanings. What are these actually? Let's design. You can apply here also, but reasonably to understand in a clean format. For this, what you do is here, I am adding an ordered list. Ordered list, unordered list, anything we can add. Now in that ordered list, we have a list item. We are having a list item inside this. This is item 1. I will add another item 2. So item 3, item 4. So and item 5 like this. Now what happens is there are so many child elements. So item 7 like this. So now what we are doing, we are accessing, we can write directly li because there are no other li here. Otherwise you have to write ol space what it is li. That means here I will put color as red. It will apply to all items inside. All of them it will apply. But here you can apply a class called first child. When you apply first child, it will work only for the first one. It will work only for the first one. You can apply here last child. You can apply last child. Then it will apply only to last one. That means you can apply only for first, only for last. Suppose if it is side by side, then it will be left and right? Depends on orientation. Okay, we have another option, another class, nth child. Nth child, you put a number 2, means it will be second one. You say 5, it will be fifth one. That means you can put a number here, nth child. Not only number, it uses 2 words also. It can use even. That means all even occurrences, 2, 4, 6. It uses odd. That means all odd occurrences, 1, 3, 5, 7. Usually alternative selections, these all are very much needed. Remember you design tables, right? When you design tables, where we have, I think we have a table related so many rows and columns we are having a. So this is a table. It has a lot of rows, right? Now what I want is, I want in the table body, even rows one color, odd rows another color. Different alternative strips we want. Then it's simple. What you do here, here you are going to write a style. So we are going to write some style here. We are going to write a style. In the style where it is in T body is parent. In that TR is the child. And here we have what? Nth child. Nth child is what? Even. When even occurrence is there, background color, suppose light green. Light green is the background color I am applying. And in the T body, wherever row is there, wherever nth child, we have what? Odd. Odd occurrence is there, then background color light red, a light pink, like this I am applying some color. Then you can see for even odd occurrences, different colors it will apply. That means even occurrence one color, odd occurrence another color, then it will set like strips and display, right? So you can select any specific. You can use the words even and odd, that you can define by using what? Nth child. So syntactically, suppose we have a TR sub nth child, we can write like this. That example I will give, but we can write like this: nth child 3. What does it means? So refers to third row. Am I right? It refers to the third row. You can use TR nth child as even. That means even occurrences. You can use odd. You can also use odd. even occurrences, odd occurrences, you can use them. That is nth child. If I give tr first child, that means it's nothing but first row. Tr dot, this is last child. Last child means it is what? Last row. It will apply according. So we have nth child. Now nth of type, nth last of type. So what is this nth of type, nth last of type? That means every nth occurrence. Every nth occurrence, it will apply for every nth occurrence. Every nth occurrence, how it is going to apply here is, see. Every nth occurrence applying means what we do here. We will write like this. This is table, okay. For temporary, your understanding sake, I will paste this one. Because already you have a table design. In that you can implement that. Now see what happens in this. So what we are doing is, we are writing here the class nth of type. Nth of type I given 2. Then what happens? It will apply only to second. You see, it will apply to only second. Means it will be same like nth. It will apply only to the second. It is applying only to the second one. Now, what is the point here? You can add n to n. Means every second occurrence. Every second occurrence, it will apply the color. That means I'm using anything you can apply. Suppose I'm just applying color. Suppose if I say BG background color, that means every nth occurrence background color will be that. That means every occurrence it is applying. And remember, every nth occurrence starting from where? Starting from n. That means every second occurrence starting from 2. But you can put plus 1. Means every second occurrence starting from 1. Every second occurrence starting from 1. Every second occurrence starting from 3. Every second occurrence starting from 3. And from 3 top. From 3 top. That means every nth occurrence starting from 3 top. So that is every nth occurrence you can define. So 2n every second occurrence. But every second occurrence from second. 3n every third occurrence from third. 4n every fourth occurrence from 4. That means if I say 3n, that means what it is? Every third occurrence, but starting from 3. But it should start from 1. You can put every 3 occurrences starting from 1. You can put that by using that nth occurrences you can add. So this is nth of type. But remember, this is I given every 2n plus 1. That means every second occurrence from top. 3n plus 1 every third occurrence. So every third occurrence from top 2. You can also have from bottom. From bottom. That means you see, I want nth last of type. Nth last of type. Nth last of type means it will be from bottom every second occurrence. Previously from top every second. That means every first occurrence from bottom. So every second occurrence from bottom. From bottom, from top. You can put any. That means from bottom, starting from bottom 2. Starting from bottom 2, it will be there. Starting from bottom 3. Starting from bottom 3, it will be there. Nth last of type means from bottom. Nth of type means from top. From top. So every nth occurrence you can apply. These are used for selecting the child elements here. So suppose you are writing the syntax here. Here I will put that syntax also here. So we have the option tr nth of type 2n. That means every second occurrence from top. So from top, and one more point is starting from second. Understood? So you written like this tr nth of type 2n plus 1. That means every second occurrence from top starting from first. So starting from first, starting from 7, 6, 5, anything you can give. You have another option tr nth last of type 2n. Every second occurrence from bottom. Every second occurrence from bottom. Or you say right. Bottom or right. That depends. You can say end. And this is also same. Here also you can add nth last of type 2n plus 1. Right. So every nth occurrence you can apply. These are parent child based elements. So many are there. That means, see, these are all not necessary in regular approach. But in some occasions we need them because we need to select all of them. We need to select some random. We need to select from based on orientations we need to do. In that case, these will help because many people who know CSS, they don't know all these. It's not necessary to know all these also. Why? Because everywhere they may not use them. But when that situation comes, they will have a doubt like how it is possible, how I can access all even, how all odd occurrences. For that, we have all these points, right? So these are all depending on the parent child hierarchy, relational and hierarchy. Relation based, hierarchy based selectors. So many are there. So direct child, all child elements, adjacent siblings, general siblings. So we have level based access, second level, fourth level, even odd, from top, from bottom, every occurrence. All these are hierarchy based selectors, right? Next important, another in the selectors we are having, another we have attribute selectors. Attribute selectors. Attribute selectors. In the selectors, we are having attribute selector. What is the issue in HTML is in HTML, several elements in HTML are not directly displayed using tags. Some are displayed by using attributes. For example, what is the element for radio button? What is the element for radio button? What is the element for radio button? For radio button, element is input. input is the element. Input type radio is not element. What is this type radio? Type radio is attribute, na? That means input is the element which is used for everybody. Text box, password, number, all are input only. All are one element only. Their type is changing. Their type is changing. Number type, string type, boolean type based on selections. So the problem is generally what happens, we have to apply effects not based on element. We have to apply based on the attribute used by that element. Attribute used by that element. That means which attribute that element is using. Based on attribute you can select. Based on attribute you can select. Based on the attribute values you can select. You can select. So technically I will show you a point here. See. Suppose why you need attribute selectors. Okay. First, different examples are there. First, I will show you. Suppose you have a form. In that we have a data term name. Say first name. And we have input type is text. And we have last name. And this is also input type as what? Text. Now we have input type is what? Button. Input type button. So this is HTML4 button. Value is login. We have another input type button. So here value is what? Cancel. Like this we have. Now what should happen is in this design, I want to apply color for buttons. Then how? If I give here input and background color yellow, then it will apply for all of them. Then how do you say that for input type button only it should apply? So how we use attribute selectors? We have element. In the square brace, you have to mention attribute. And you have to write the effects. You have to write the effects. And remember, there are so many techniques here. It refers to only attribute. You have another option. Element attribute is equal to which value it should match also you can give. That means which value it matches. Matching with what? If value is this, then use it. Only attribute is possible. Attribute value is also possible. Only attribute where is used, I will show you. We will see that. Here, what is the attribute? What is the element? Input. In the square brace, what is the attribute? The attribute is what? Type. But all are having type. All are having type, na? Type must be equal to what? Type is equal to button. Then it should apply for that button. Actually, attribute is defined directly. Type is equal to what is it? Button. We write like this. Then what happens? It will apply to only buttons. So if I say type, what does it means? Wherever input type is mentioned, apply. Everywhere it will apply. Type must be equal to text. Then it will apply to only text. Type must be only radio or only button. It can apply to only them. That means you can apply only for specific attribute and value. Attribute and value. That is based on attribute. Why you need attribute also I will tell you. For example, here we are comparing with value. Suppose you have paragraph. Para 1, paragraph, para 2, and paragraph para 3. Now we are having some para 4. In that first paragraph have an ID. This first paragraph have an ID, that is P1. And fourth paragraph have an ID P4. Now I want to apply color to paragraphs that have ID. Which ID they have, I don't care. If ID is there, apply. Then how to access all paragraphs that have an ID but value is not sure? We are not sure about value. We are sure about ID. ID is there or not. Then how you write P in the square brace? What is the attribute you are looking for? ID. That's it. Then color. So I given as some blue. That means wherever ID is there, it will be blue. That means I am applying some background color. Say same background color yellow. Then it will apply yellow. So if you want, you can apply to specific ID equal to P4. Then it will apply only to P4. I just know that it will have an ID. I am not sure which ID it is having. ID value I don't know, but ID will be there. Then you can apply based on only attribute. Only attribute, it will apply everywhere that attribute comes. Equal means that attribute must match value. That means what is the first one? It refers to all elements have given attribute. All elements that have given attribute. That have given attribute. So equal, that means attribute that matches with so it is matching with the given values. Here so many conditions are there. Attribute conditions are there. Let me put one example here. I will copy this example. This is the example. Actually, attribute conditions are there. We have attribute conditions. Attribute conditions are there. Attribute conditions, already one condition we are using. Attribute is equal to what? Value. This is attribute equal to value. This indicates exact match. That indicates exact match. That means the value should exactly match with what you are looking for. That means you said P1, it should match with P1. Exact match. It should match with exact, right? That is what we use that here. Attribute exactly matches. That is equal. Equal indicates exact match. So you see here now how these conditions will work. Okay. Let's remove this now. And here, let's put some paragraphs. Para 1. And I will put some paragraphs. Okay. Para 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These are enough. Okay. Now see what I am doing here in these paragraphs. So in that paragraphs, I am giving some class names. Class effects is the class. So class text effects is another class. This is class effects text. So here we have a class text hyphen effects. We have a class text space effects. And we have a class effects space text. And we have another class para text effects text. We have another class, so para effects text. Like this you have so many. I have another para 8, para 9. Now we are having another class, so para hyphen effects hyphen text. Like this we are having. Now the point is, here I am applying paragraph. What is the attribute? Color, sorry, class. Class is matching with what? Effects. It is matching with effects and background color is yellow. Now for which paragraph it will apply? What is the condition I am using? Condition I am using is equal. What does equal means? Equal means exact match. Exact match, how many places are there? Only one. Exact match only one. Na? Exactly matching, we have only one. That means exactly matching only one. That means it will apply only to the first one. It will apply only to the first one. Only to the first one. It applies only to the first one. Okay. Now what we are doing here, we are using another symbol here. So attribute, we have exponent equal value. Exponent equal and value. This means that exponent equal is to indicate that starts with. Exponent equal indicates starts with. We have attribute dollar equal value. This indicates ends with. We have start with, we have end with. Start with, end with. Equal means exact match. So exponent equal is start with, this is end with. Start with and end with. We have start with and end with. Now you see here, I am writing here exponent equal. Now tell me for which paragraph it will apply. Start with. Starting, first one is starting na. Third one is also starting. Sixth one is also starting. That means 1, 3, 6. 1, 3, 6. That is the starting with. That means it will apply to 1, 3, 6. That indicates starts with. So it is starting with that specific location. That is start with. You have dollar equal. Dollar equal ends with. So where it will apply now? First will apply because first is both starting as well as ending. First one will apply, second one will apply, fourth, fifth one will apply. 1, 2, 4, 5. Am I right? So you see they are ending with 1, 2, 4, 5. So we have starting with, we have ending with. We have ending with. Now see the interesting point here. Another one is we have an attribute. We have pipe equal value. Pipe equal value. We have an attribute tilde equal value. We have pipe equal value, tilde equal value. These are also conditions. Now observe, see and tell me what is happening then. I will apply here I will apply here pipe equal value. Pipe equal value. This symbol is called pipe symbol. Pipe. So this is exclamation symbol. This is exclamation symbol. This is pipe symbol. We call it as pipe symbol. Okay, now when I apply this pipe symbol, observe what happens. Only first one. Why? Only first one it is applying. Why? Pipe symbol means equal also same applying. Right? So why it is applying here? Only to the first one. Okay, I will use another symbol. I will use another symbol. Tilde. Equal. And you see it is applying 1568. 1568. What is common there? See, 1568. What is there? That means anywhere that word occurs, it will catch. Anywhere that word occurs, it will catch, but it should be independent. It should be independent, not combined with other. Combined with other means, remember, class, I'm using class. Class means space means two different classes. Space means two different classes. That means what is the tilde means? Tilde means it is going to apply wherever it is independently configured. Independently configured means separated with space. Individual and separated with space. Actually, the pipe symbol have one more thing. Pipe symbol is not just independent. It can be like this also. I will put here para 10. I will put a class. What is it? Effects hyphen text. And if I apply the pipe symbol, if I apply the pipe symbol, so then you can now identify. So that means pipe symbol indicates starts with and can be separated with hyphen. Starts with and can be along with others, but should be in the beginning and separated with hyphen. It must start with, it can be individual, or it is separated with hyphens, not separated with space. If separated with space means what? Tilde. Tilde means separated with space anywhere. Right? So here, what is the purpose of this pipe symbol? Pipe symbol indicates that it will apply to individual here. That means because it is starting with, but this also starting, but it is combined. Am I right? This also starting, but this is having a space. This is starting with a hyphen. It can be combined with along with others, but it should be separated with an hyphen. Other symbols not allowed. Other symbols are not allowed. So you have two important options now. What is this pipe symbol? It indicates starts with and separated. Separated with which delimiter? Delimiter. So hyphen delimiter. What does tilde means? Any occurrence separated with what? Space. separated with space. Individual or separated with space. It can be individual or separated with space. These are all attribute selectors. They are attribute selectors. Right. Example. I will copy this example. Already one example is there. Condition based example. I will copy this. What you do is in this example, put all those consequences and see. You will understand. That means put all those operators and try. You will understand how they are going to work. Right. This is the category attribute based selection. We can select based on parent child hierarchies. We can select based on the attributes. You can select based on attributes, right? Next important, we have another important is which we already learned. Element state classes. What are element state classes? Selecting elements based on the state, which already we learned. I given now. What are those? Already we learned, right? State, read only, disabled, am I right? Checked, hover, right? Active, active. You remember target also I told you. Target we learned in links concept. Intra-document links. When intra-document links are there, navigation is not possible. Then we can highlight by using what? Target. Element state is target. Then it can apply that effect. Apply that effect. What else? Element state we have focus. Right? What else? Actually visited. Visited means link visited. When link is visited, we are applying the cases. When link is visited, we are applying that cases and we are configuring them. Right? All these comes under what? Element state classes. All these we learned. No need to explain anything. Because I showed you in forms concept also we learned about them. These are all element state classes. Next we have validation state classes. What are validation state classes? Required, optional, in range, out of range. Am I right? Out of range, valid, invalid. Valid, invalid. This all comes under validation state. Right? We have validation state classes. These are validation state classes. I'm not giving any example because already we done this. Previous examples we learned about this, how to use them, how we can manage the validation state and work with. So validation state classes, right? Next important, you have learned about another is occurrence and behavior. Occurrence and behavior. Actually, occurrence and behavior, some options are there. We have first letter. Remember, I told you at drop cap, you have a placeholder, and we used selection. We have a selection, we have before, and we have after. This all comes under the category of occurrence and behavior. Occurrence before, occurrence after, behavior, selected, placeholder, and is it occurrence first letter? Actually, you have a first line also, na? First line is also there. You can select first line, you can select first letter, you can select a placeholder, you can select before element, you can select after elements, right? These are important. These are occurrence and behavior based options. Already this I explained in paragraph. This also I explained in paragraph. While selecting some background, marking up colors will come, right? And first line, first letter are related to drop cap. Drop cap already we saw, right? Suppose we have a paragraph. In this paragraph, we need to apply the style for the first letter. You saw that already we used it. So paragraph text align is justify, and after that for paragraph we are accessing first letter. Font size is some 30 pixel, float what left, we'll keep float left, it will be like this. We already used it. We can access even first line also. Paragraph what? First line. We can access the first line, some color is some blue, something like this. You can apply different. Already we know this. So we used this while working with the paragraphs we have done. And one more we learned paragraph, wherever you use selection. Background color is what? Yellow. And you see background yellow will come while select. Right? And I told you double colon means it uses some rules and limitations. Rules and limitation means while selecting, I want to increase the font size. While selecting, I want to increase the font size. For selection, I am giving font size as 50 pixel. And you see here while selecting, font size not working. That's what I told you. Rules means you cannot apply all styles. You cannot apply all effects. There are limited, restricted. I told you now one colon implements the rules, another colon implements the behavior. This is one option. Occurrence based also. Occurrence based is nothing but, suppose you see in Flipkart, I opened Flipkart. I went to some mobiles and you can see I selected some mobiles, and you see actually this is a hierarchy of elements shown like this. That means I am currently in which category. This design is called breadcrumb. We call these kind of designs as breadcrumb designs. Breadcrumb designs we call them as. CSS breadcrumbs are very popular. That means you see you are doing some payments. They will say you are in step 4. You finished the first step, second step, till 2 more steps are there. That is called as what? Breadcrumbs. We can design in different ways, but actually in these breadcrumb designs, for example, you see what I am doing for the breadcrumb design here. Above the paragraph, here I will put an unordered list item home. Another list item is electronics. In electronics, we have mobiles. In mobiles, we have Apple mobiles, something. In this, we have iPhone. So like this, we have some categories, all these. Now see what happens. All these are displayed like this. Now what we are doing first, wherever unordered list comes, list style, none. Remove the list style. Display as what? Flex. They will come side by side. Now it will come like this. Now what you do is every list item after, what you want to do. I want to put some content. You can put some effects, but I want to put some content. What is the content? I will use content. What is the content you want to keep? I will put a simple hyphen like this, greater than symbol. That means you can see that it puts a content like that. That means that is after every element. Suppose li before every element. So I have a content and I am putting just put some blank space. Before space will be there, after this will be there. It will be there. You can add anything. You can add anything. Suppose you see when you give the proper spaces between them, you can add several symbols, icons there. Yeah. You see now the appearance will be like this. I will do one more work here. After every list item, you put the content. You put any symbol you want. Then you can see it will put that symbol there. Any symbol you can define, any symbol you can add there. That means it will add. So, but here one point is there. Before you can add anything. Suppose I given slash, that means before it will be slash. Before the item slash, after the item here. Sometimes we don't use after. Suppose I given before, then it will be only slash. But here one technique you have to implement. What is the technique? After every element you mentioned that. So see now what to do. For this last one I don't want. For that last one I don't want. Then how to remove for the last one? Just now you learned today how to access the last list item. Colon, what is it? Last child. Last child, double colon, what is it? After. After what content you want to keep? I want to keep the content empty. After the last child, it should be empty. Then it is empty. Last one is not there. One is not there. Suppose you see, I am adding here. Suppose I am using a span. I am writing a span. And in that span, I am using some B. That means bold. And I am using this symbol like this. And you see, it will not allow that. Content means RC type. RC type means what? Plain. Plain content you can add. Later I will show you, we can download some third parties and you can even put symbols icons also there. But initially we will use normal content here. That means a normal content. Suppose I am using ampersand NBSP semicolon and ampersand NBSP semicolon, like this I am adding. You see, it will not take them. It is only plain text content. Only plain text content only we need to add. Just put some spaces and add them. So we can add before, you can add after. That depends on your requirements, right? Actually, if I put different symbols, you see I'm adding different symbols, it will come. Just you add what you want, your characters, what you want to configure, right? That is this. This is a very popular design. We usually call this as what? Breadcrumb. Breadcrumb design. That is example of this breadcrumb design. This is an example of that. So these are all selectors. That means these are all occurrence behavior based selector. Now actually you have another selector. Means we have some more important point here is we have an universal selector. Universal selector. Universal selector is nothing but asterisk. Asterisk refers to all. It selects everything. Suppose all elements I want same font size, all elements I want same font family, then better you just use asterisk. Asterisk is going to select all, universal selector. It is going to select all elements. So this is select all. We call it as a universal selector. Because generally, when we see, you have observed when we use when you use code, when you use different elements, every element sometimes changes its font style. Different font styles they will be using. I want same appearance everywhere for all of them. Then you can simply apply using asterisk. Asterisk refers to what? Asterisk refers to all. This is universal selector. Some font family as what? Arial. So every element becomes with that Arial. Every element becomes everywhere in list item, in paragraph, in headings, everywhere it will put the same. We can put the same that you can configure by using this, right? This is universal selector. It selects all. Actually, you have a root and language selector, but we cannot use them now because for that you need to learn some JavaScript Shadow DOM. When you learn JavaScript Shadow DOM, their root concept will come. Otherwise, you can't handle them. Later, you will see that. So, usually root selector will be like this, colon root. Language selector will be LANG. LANG is language selector. These we cannot use now because for that we need an element root child hierarchy creation. We need web components. When we learn web components, Shadow DOM and all, then you will understand. For that, you need a Shadow DOM. Shadow DOM you will see in JavaScript how to handle. There you can select for the root and you can use the root elements also. So these are not required as of now, but these all others are the different types of selectors available in CSS. Am I clear? Right? So all these days you just used only 1, 2 everywhere. You just used a type selector and you just used a class. But we don't need a class everywhere because I want all even occurrences. Then you can't write class and apply. That means even class, odd class, you don't need to write like that. Just you can select based on occurrence. Is it first? Is it last? Why it is important? Because these will be dynamically changing. Dynamically changing means in a list 10 items are there. For odd items, you give an odd class and you applied some effect. Suppose one more item added, that odd number becomes even. Understood? That means what I am explaining, you understood the point. That means I am saying that suppose Li, we will put a class as what? Even. For another Li, we will put a class as what? Odd. Now what we will do for even, we will put one effect. For odd, we will put another effect. Then why you need nth child? Why you need nth child? Because in between these two, one more item added. Then what will happen? This will become even now. Then again you will change the class name. That's not correct idea. That means without giving these class names, I must able to select them. Why? Because they are not stable. They will be changing. In one situation, it is an even number. In another situation, it becomes odd. So I'm not sure. Rows will be adding, removing. Then we cannot apply using classes. You have to use these selectors. These are all CSS selectors. How we can use different types of selectors, right? Now, once you know the selectors, next important in CSS, actually, you already learned in CSS already you learned what you learned CSS colors. I explained na? Say colors in how many ways we can give color name, color shade, color code, hexa code, 3 character, 6 character, RGB. RGBA, HSL, HSLA, linear gradient, radial gradient. I already explained. Those are CSS colors. You have learned CSS rules also. CSS rules means inline, embedded, external, which one will be first priority, right? These are all rules. I give an ID, class type, which one will work. All these are rules. You learned the rules also. And now you will see how to use CSS inheritance. And you will see CSS units. Units means why to use px, pixels, why to use inches, centimeters. These all we will see now. That we will see in next session. Right? Next session, tomorrow we'll have session. Right? Tomorrow we'll have session because already I told you, right, from Saturday, that means from 11th, we will have holidays. So, and institute will not be functioning for at least 5-6 days. I will announce the timing on Monday, right? So that is the reason we will have a session in tomorrow's same time. Tomorrow session, same time. Okay.